Big Z Reviews. Sinners is one of the biggest box office original films we've had, like I think almost a decade, and now it's also coming out on demand. And I watched it, the first week it came out, and I also just watched it again at home, and I'm finally now getting to review, and it's really good.
Of people with the gift of making music so true, it can conjure spirits from the past and the future. This gift can bring fame and fortune, but it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
So this was written and directed by Ryan Coogler, and it mainly stars Miles Caton as Sammy Moore, and Michael B. Jordan as a dual role as Smoke and Stack, the Smoke Stack's twins. And it's funny, this movie is kind of like, half of it is just like a day in the life of these two gangsters that have pulled off a big job and like robbed from the Irish and the Italian mob, and they brought back money and booze and liquor, and they're trying to open up their own juke joint in the Delta, like in where they grew up, and halfway through it becomes a vampire flick. And it's funny, I think I liked the non supernatural side of the movie slightly more, but at the same time, some of the stuff they do with the vampires is awesome and really interesting. So it's like it's fun. I almost wouldn't have minded a separate version of this film where like the vampires never come, and instead they have to deal with the mobsters coming to find them. It could have been some interesting stuff out of that. But I think what we got, like, that's not the film he wanted to make. And like pretty much all of my complaints about the movie are the thing you could say about it is like, well, that's not what Ryan Coogler wanted to do. And so it's like, because what we got is fantastic. Like, it's gorgeous on the big screen, and I still really enjoyed it at home too. And the digital version, it included like all the aspect ratio changes, which is nice. I know sometimes it would be interesting to see when like the actual like 4K Blu-ray hits what the different formats are. But like I know sometimes like the IMAX is only an IMAX. I mean, it still might be not slightly as big, but even like my widescreen TV is not as square as the IMAX scenes, I'm sure, were. I didn't get around to seeing an IMAX. I didn't make the two-hour drive, but I watched it at my home theater, at the theater near where I am at home. But it was amazing. And I mean, all the people are so good, and like the music, it's like they have a juke joint, so they're like and the one that Miles Caton is like Preacher Boy, and he has like a beautiful voice, and there's a lot of amazing stuff. Some of the scenes, like there's this like his music is so powerful, it can like bring back the past and future generations through the music, and the scene is kind of insane with like doing like the camera going round and round, and like different like generations popping up. And then there's also like with the vampires, that's the thing. I think my biggest problem with the vampires are that it's too quick. Like if you look at it, if vampires reproduced like this, like they're bitten and a minute later they're like full vampires, I feel like they would have taken over the world. Like I think there's a lot more to this. That's like, to me, but they do some interesting things with like the whole idea of a lot of the vampire lore. Like they have their own version of it. That's cool. Like the one girl, Wunmi Mosaku, like she's like the I don't know if they actually were married, but she was the love interest for the one, I think it's Smoke, or might Stack, I'm not sure, but the one twin, and like she is like a witch woman, and she knows that like these might be haints, and they know it's much worse than vampires. And I love that all the people that are like, oh, they believe her right away. They're not, okay, yeah, you know what you're doing. We're gonna follow you. But I almost wish she'd been like more powerful, or like they've been able to fight more. But again, because like so many people got turned so quick, it's like impossible for them to win. And it's because then, but then he say he didn't want it to make it from dusk till dawn, where most of the movie is them killing vampires. That's not what he wanted to do. But there is some interesting stuff where like it seems like Jack O'Connell as Remick, as like the Irish vampire, like he does have like there's the whole thing with vampires where like they're like a lot they you when you can they can also like have mind control, and they can be like their thralls, like almost like they're not, when they bite someone they're not full vampires, they're almost like zombies, and they can control them to their mind. And there is some interesting stuff with like mind control, or like their minds are all linked to him, and like it's some interesting like stuff too with like the white Irishmen like killing them and taking over their minds and making them all sing and dance to Irish music. Like that's, I think, very interesting, has a lot to say. But then, and I think they should have been more thrall like, or like weaker, or like like there's still none of them, like only Jack is shown to be like flying, and he seems to be more immune to the sun, and there's like he's much more powerful than everyone else. And I like the idea that a lot of like the lore that it doesn't touch that much on, and a lot of the modern takes on vampires is that like the older they get, the more powerful they get, and like there's some cool stuff here, like with the vampires. But I think everything else is so good. I don't know. I don't know what else you could, like, this is not what he wanted to do. But, like, what is here is just amazing. Like, every aspect of it is excellent. I mean, it's like a 9.5 out of 10. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of the year so far. And I think everyone in it is amazing. Like, the whole cast is out of this world. And the direction and the filmmaking is superb. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.